a shirtless man.
Give it a few squirts. Hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in this month. Man, I've got an exciting show planned this month. If you remember the Warrior Golf Camps of America bike I had in 1,000,000 pieces last month, well, that bike's done. And we're going to show it to you, and Chuck did something a little insane. Keep in mind Warrior Golf Camps when you see what Chuck built. Also, we're going to introduce you to Southern Bumper. They're a chroming company just north of us a little bit, a few miles north. They've been doing our chroming for years, and I invited them down to the show today. I've got some parts to talk to them about, but mostly I want you guys to know about Southern Bumper. Do you remember the Dodge panel from last month? Well, we've got the body work done, we've got the truck roughed in, and I'll show you some of the handwork we've done on it. As well, we're still waiting for doors, but we've located some doors in the state of Arizona, of all places. And I started a new project. The new project is a 57 Chevy truck. Now, the cool thing about the 57 Chevy truck is that we're grafting it onto an SSR chassis. So in essence, what we're building is a Corvette 57 Chevy truck. That truck's cool. I'll show it to you today. But first, let's talk about the Warrior Golf Camp bike. The cool thing about Warrior Golf Camps of America, they give me artist discretion. I can do what I want to their stuff. They are the charity of my choice. So basically when they come to my shop, they just pay for materials. They don't pay for labor, they don't pay for anything else. They just have to pay for the materials. My goal for this bike was this. It was to make this bike look as if it was military surplus. Military surplus with a custom twist, and that's where Chuck came into play. Now keep in mind this is Warrior Golf Camps. And I told Chuck, I said, man, free reign, just build me a cool sissy bar. The sissy bar is so cool. It's twisted. You know, that was square tubing, it was straight. Chuck heats it, methodically twists it, bends it, and shapes it, and gets that fancy design to it. Military bikes, or vehicles for that matter, they're painted 100 times before they're sold, before they're gone to the public. So what I did on this bike was this. I used OD green paint, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to turn it up a notch. I'm going to make that a little different. I painted the tank satin and the fenders satin. I did the air cleaner and the engine and the exhaust guards in semi-gloss. Everything else we did satin silver, the exhaust and all the other parts, plus everything that was chrome, we brushed it out. My intent was to make this bike look a lot older than it really is. And then Chuck, what did you do with the sissy bar, man?
Well, I took some 1/2-inch bar stock and heated it and twisted it. Took some old golf clubs and mated them to it.
Now the twisted metal is an art in itself. It's not anybody can twist metal like that, and to me that's just beautiful, man. How many hours do you think you got in twisting that metal?
It's a few. It was about an hour or so.
He said an hour. I'm telling you, he had 8 hours in that sissy bar. Plus, at the end of it, he's got 2 golf clubs. Who would have thought that up? But it is Warrior Golf Camps of America. So I just left it up to Chuck. I said, Chuck, build me a sissy bar. He knows what it's for. It's going on a military-themed bike for the Warrior Golf Camps of America. And what does he do? He uses golf clubs. A lot of work keeping it straight.
Yeah, the hardest part's keeping it where it's, when you get done, it's not like
it's
that.
Not stretched
it's still
out
straight.
Road, yeah. You know the cool thing is, Chuck, and I know you're capable of doing it, and this is just a little sampling of your artwork, is the cool thing is back in the late 60s, the guys used to make the down tubes for their motorcycles out of twisted metal like that.
Oh yeah.
Indian Larry was notorious for doing that.
Yeah, that'd make a great looking down too. Makes it just, it's awesome.
Hey, you know what?
Awesome stuff.
You know, if you guys follow the show, you know that the second I'm done with something, I move on, dreaming to the next one. Guess what Chuck and I did? We bought us another bike. We bought, of all things, a Suzuki, didn't we?
Yeah, GS 850G.
What are we gonna do to it, man?
I got a few ideas. I think I got one off
Hey,
of
why
something.
don't we use a split Harley tank?
That's kind of
And-
what I
and
was
put
thinking.
a band down the center with some.
Aluminum.
Okay, so you said muscle. What if we split the tank even farther than it's supposed to be split, and we band it and show rivets down the center of that tank?
We could do that.
That would be cool.
You got a split Harley tank?
No, but we should have bought one that swapped me.
There was plenty of them. It's gonna be a pretty strong little bobber.
You ain't lying. That thing ought to be fast. It ought to be wicked fast.
Yeah.
So we've already started our next personal build together. In fact, they picked it up today, taking it to their shop to tear it down, and we'll get some creative juices flowing, and I can't wait. But anyway, this is the Warrior Golf Camp bike. We displayed it at A-Bait, me and Chuck did, along with the Zombie Slayer and a few other things we've got going on. But I wanted you guys to see it first, and it's going to hit the road, I guess, this month and be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it better be. And maybe they'll see our next project soon.
I hope so. I hope it'll
Chuck, that's out of
be
sight,
real
man.
soon.
The
Thanks.
craftsmanship it takes to do something like that and the creativity to add 2 golf clubs to a military bike, I just think it's cool. But either way, you guys want to go out back and take a look at the Dodge and the 57 Chevy truck? Come on, we'll go out back.
Every girl crazy about a shot-ass man. Every girl crazy about a shot-ass man.
Hey, how are y'all? Hey, Mandy. So good to see you. I know James is expecting you. He actually has a job to talk with you about. So, y'all come on in here.
All right. My name is Steve. I took over Southern Bumper in 05, April. I took it over April 4th because April 1st was the joke. So I didn't want to take it over April 1st.
How you doing, man?
All right,
And
man.
then Jennifer.
Good to see you. Jennifer,
You remember
good
my
to
daughter?
see you. What 57 Chevy truck. I mean, you guys have been doing our chrome work forever, but this truck, I personally was paying very special attention to. We've got the grill, a couple of bumpers. There's going to be some other parts, maybe headlight doors. This job's going to be in my shop probably the next 12 months, so we've got time to really do this thing up right now.
Okay.
Have you ever done a 57 Chevy grill for a truck? Yeah.
But sometimes the aftermarket ones are cheaper than what it costs for us to do it. So a lot of people go aftermarket, but
And we may have to do that with this one. This is pretty rough. How long you guys been in business up there, Steve?
I've been running it for 9 years, but it was first started by Butch and Sandy Gregory in 1985.
The truth of the matter is, he's 3rd or 4th generation chromer. He bought the company when he worked there forever and then was able to purchase the company from the last owners. And now his daughter's involved, and his son-in-law actually works in the shop.
But I've been running it for 9 years now, and my daughter came on board with me and has been very helpful and a big key component in making sure things get done. So I'd really put that responsibility on Jennifer, and she does an excellent job for us. And we just really stress quality of the product.
And I know you guys have always done our chrome work, and we've always been so pleased. You remember the Impala you guys just finished for us?
Right.
We delivered that car a couple of months ago, and the owner was just thrilled to death. But I really wanted you guys to get involved with this show. I want people to know what's going on and how they can get it done.
Right.
Hopefully, maybe in a future episode, we can come visit the plant.
Oh, I love that. I would really love that.
I think that'd be a lot of fun, man. And they're second to none. That's why we use them. There are a lot of chrome shops. I'm not going to lie to you. And there are cheaper chrome shops. But in my opinion, there's none better. And it just makes my stuff look good, you know. But listen, if this is nothing you can't handle, we'll start shipping the parts up to you soon and getting things rolling.
Right. It would really help if it was all the way down to bare metal, take the paint and rust and everything off, and take it apart, of course.
That's right. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll either blast it or acid dip it.
Okay.
Get that done. There's a few problems here, and we got some other additional parts to come about, but we'll get this job going soon. Steve, I appreciate you coming by, man.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. See you, Jennifer.
Nice to see you.
See you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
See y'all. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
All right, enjoy the beautiful weather.
Every girl crazy about a shot dance man. Every girl crazy about a shot dance man.
Wonder what that tire was. You remember seeing that?
I remember seeing it, but I don't remember where we were at.
There was a car tire on the back of that bike.
What's up? You doing all right?
Where you going? You better get your butt back there. Cigarette hanging out of his yap. I don't know if you realize it, but the last time we had the film crew here, we shot the TV show, this front end was not even attached to this truck. It was just kind of sitting on it. That's the way we got it from the owner. The hood wasn't mounted. Stanley was working on doing some hood mounting issues. The front end's now mounted. The truck is level and square. The body work on the truck has been done. Now it's not completed. There's still a lot of work left to do. I would call this roughed in at this stage. Well, we've got the truck mocked up. Basically, this is a 1957 Dodge panel, and it's been mounted on a Dodge Dakota chassis with a modern motor, modern transmission, entire modern running gear, as well as the dash and all the components. So this truck will have air conditioning. Now, if you remember from last month's episode, there was a lot of issues with the truck. The sides of the truck were rusted out. In fact, if you remember, there was a huge hole down the side of this truck. We fixed all that, hand fabricated the steel and put it back together. We've got the front end setting, mounted the way it should set. Now, you remember I said we couldn't build doors for the truck, we couldn't find doors? Well, guess what? We've located some, and we got word late last night about 10 o'clock that we've got a set of doors on their way from the state of Arizona. And I know he's watching. I know he's going to watch this, but I'm going to tell you, he's hard-headed. He told me I could fix the doors. You know what? It's not. We can fix the doors, and they would just be okay. My goal was to replace the doors. They were shot. The whole bottom half of the door. Well, I get my way. I've located some doors. He's ordering them, and they're shipping them to us. We've got that Dodge ready. And I told him, fella, you want your truck, you got to get some doors in here. So that's a big relief, getting doors that work on the truck. Come around the back, I want to show you something. On the back of the truck, this entire panel was rotted out. It was just gone. Stanley took the time and hand built a panel, and as well, we mounted a modern receiver hitch in the truck. So, old truck, modern receiver hitch. We've got the barn doors fitted and finished. It basically just needs to be sanded, and then the truck's about ready to go to paint. So in 30 days, we came a long way with the truck. Last month, that truck was really just getting started. The whole front end wasn't mounted. Today it's mounted. You remember all the dents down the side of that truck, gaping holes of rust? Stanley and I have hand fabricated metal, bent it, shaped it, welded it in place. When you look at rust, you got to think of it as being cancer, okay? You got to cut it all out. It's just got to go. If you leave a speck of rust, it will continue to spread. So gaping holes in that truck was really what we had when we cut the rust out. We, like I say, hand fabricated the panels for the side. Stanley built the back panel I showed you. When it comes to fabrication, Chuck, Stanley, man, they're second to none. Pretty proud of what my guys can do in a short time. I also mentioned that we were building another vehicle, and if you'll take a look over there, there's a carcass of a truck. Now that's a 1957 Chevy truck. Just the carcass is just barely left. But right behind you in the shop is now the 57 Chevy sitting on an SSR chassis. Now this is a really cool build. In my opinion, this is going to be the ultimate resto mod. when we're done with this truck, and we really just got started, when we're done with this truck is going to run, drive, and respond, act, noise level, everything like a brand new vehicle. And here's why. Underneath this old body, underneath this old steel, is a brand new SSR chassis. Check this out. How many times do you pop the hood on a 57 Chevy truck and see a 6-liter V8 computer-controlled engine? Well, it's rare to none. Also, the entire chassis is modern. Now, what we're doing on this truck is when we bought the chassis, we had them ship us everything, all the computer, every component. We just didn't want the SSR body. But we got the body mounts. We had them ship us the body mounts. And if you can take a look in here, modern vehicles are mounted on rubber. And what we've done to this old body is we've used the SSR mounts and we've rubber mounted this old 1957 Chevy truck onto the modern chassis. So this thing should truly ride, be as quiet and as comfortable as a modern SS. Inside the cab, you've heard me talk about channeling vehicles down. Now, inside the cab, I've had to relieve a lot of the floorboard area. This is called channeling. This is the modern 6-speed transmission, modern driveline, and farther back in the truck, you can see the fuel cell, all the suspension of the SSR, and as well, I'm rubber mounting the bed to this truck. So man, this truck should drive down the road without a squeak or a rattle in it, just like it was a modern 57 Chevy truck. That's pretty cool stuff. I'm changing the face of our shop. This year, my goal is to work more for clients like the panel, like that 57 Chevy truck, the people that want something nobody else has got, something that just not anybody can have, like the Warrior Golf Camp's motorcycle. You know what? You'll see a military bike, but the level of detail that's in that bike or that 57 Chevy truck or the panel, you're not going to find anyplace else. And that's what we do. But Stanley and the guys are working on a 54 Chevy 4-door car of all things. And this car came to us just like what you see. But this car came to us from the state of Pennsylvania. It's already been chopped, and it's had some cool things happen to it. Right now, Stanley, I don't know what he's doing. Is he hiding over there somewhere?
Yep, I'm hiding.
What you got going on in there, Stanley?
I figure out where I'm gonna put seatbelts.
Oh, yeah, we've got to put seatbelts in the car.
This seat has a pan under it, and there's no slots, nowhere, no way to get a seatbelt in there because it bends up under the
That's
back
right.
of the seats all made together.
One of the tasks we've got to do to this car is safety is important to this lady that bought it. We've gone through it. We're trying to make it DOT compliant, which most hot rodders really don't care. She does. She's going to drive the car onto the military base. That car was purchased by an Army sergeant. It was purchased at an auction. And she knew what she was bidding on. She's an educated buyer, and she got a good buy on the car. But she knew that the car was somewhat unfinished. So she brought it immediately to us and said, look, I know this. I know it doesn't have a horn. It doesn't have seat belts. It doesn't have a tag light. There's some safety features missing in this car. And she's got 2 small children. They may be 5 to 8 years old. She said, I'm going to be able to put my kids in this car and let's go enjoy the day. So seat belts, we got to install a horn, tag light, and there's a few other DOT things we need to do to just make sure it's safe. Now we're moving on to the safety stuff. And that's what Stanley was doing, was figuring the best way and the safest way to mount seat belts. Because in 1954, they didn't have seat belts. But we're going to do it. We're going to put her some shoulder harnesses in there, just like a modern car. Hopefully we're going to paint the car soon. If I get to choose, it's going to be flat black. But she mentioned red. So, and then the car would be stunning red. You know, it's a chop top. It's a true lead sled. It is a 54 Chevy. I've had some people look and say, what are you doing with a Mercury in your shop? Man, those are rare. No, that's a Chevy. But it does have that lead sled, you know, chop top appeal to it. So it's a really cool car. I can't even wait to see this bad boy going down the road. I'm often asked, hey man, how do we get more? Was in a grocery store the other day and the lady says, hey, I seen you on TV. How often can I see it? Well, and so you know how often you can see it, but there's other ways to see what we do. Every day, my wife posts on Facebook, so you can watch our builds on Facebook. Like the Dodge, for example. If you missed something between last episode and this episode, search back through Facebook, Campbell's Custom Cars of Georgia on Facebook, and you can see every detail of that Dodge I'm telling you about. As well, we've got a website. Go check out our website, and you can see a lot of finished product there. So sometimes we miss it on the episode, the car will leave before we really get to see it. But go check out the website. And as well, I'm going to tell you something else that I'm really proud of. And you know, hot rodders, motorcycle builders, whatever, they love to have their stuff published. And two of our bikes came out in a magazine this month. Find you a Full Throttle magazine and turn right to page 58. And you can read about the shop and check out the spread. Now, you know, having a TV show is great. I love it. God, it's so much fun. But having your motorcycles published, man, that just knocks my socks off. So that's cool stuff.